Welcome to Game On. I'm Drew Miller. This is a video series promoting small businesses by highlighting the business and also having really cool, unique celebrity interviews. My guests today, my former teammates and current Red Wings, Justin Abdelkader and Glendening. They're here to give you a little insight into their life, and I'm happy to have you guys on the show. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, thanks, Mills.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, I miss seeing you guys and hanging out, but I appreciate you coming on and helping the small businesses out. So basically, first thing we're going to do is just go over some questions. And like I said, the viewers are going to give them a little insight into some of the things you guys do in the off season and what it's like to be a Red Wings. So first question is, both you guys grew up in Michigan, watching the Red Wings, being a fan, and now you get the chance to pull that winged wheel jersey on a night-to-night basis. And what is it like to be a Red Wing?
Yeah, for me, obviously growing up in Michigan, being a huge Red Wings fan, it's something you dream of as a kid, and to finally see that dream come true and put the Red Wings jersey on. I'll never forget, walking out that tunnel for the first time at the Joe Louis Arena, and the warm-ups being packed, a bunch of fans, and it was special. I've skated on the Joe many times previously, but it was to do it with that Red Wings logo, and with all the history, and was a part of a really good team in 2008. But it's something I dreamed of as a kid, and to see that dream come true, obviously something very, very fortunate and very blessed.
Yeah, I think for me, growing up on the West Side, I didn't make it over to a lot of games, but watching kind of the glory days on TV. When I was a kid, I used to stand in my basement, stand at attention, and make my mom sing the Star Spangled Banner before I'd rip around, just like they did, in Detroit. So for the first time to be able to do that in Detroit, with the jersey on, my parents in the stands, was just a real special moment for me of things kind of coming full circle. I think a lot of kids, myself included, dream of playing for the Red Wings, but you don't often get the chance. And, I never thought it was a reality for me. So, when it did finally come to fruition, it was just something so out of this world for me.
Well, I know being on the team with you guys and just knowing you guys as people, you guys have represented the Red Wings well, and you guys are some of the great Red Wings for sure. So all three of us played college hockey here in Michigan. Abby being my boy, my green and white Sparty buddy, and then Glenny, you being that other dude from down the way with the, that other team. No, but at Michigan, you guys all had great college careers, obviously, and made it pro. When you think of college hockey, playing at the highest level there and making that transition from college to pro hockey, just talk about, I know it's been a few years for all of us, but just talk about that transition from college to pro and some of the things that you saw were big differences.
Yeah, it was definitely a transition. I think the biggest difference that I felt was going from a 35 game to 40 game season to an 82 game schedule. Spending some time in the minors and riding the bus and the long bus trips, the 3-and-3s that everyone talks about, just the grind. And in college, you're just playing, 2 times a weekend. You have all week to practice, so you have a lot more practice time, and just trying to find ways to stay as fresh and as ready as possible on a game-to-game basis was something I had to definitely learn, and looked to a lot of the veterans and the older guys to see what they were doing. And it's a marathon, not a sprint, that's for sure. And just managing those type of things. But I think it really prepared me, hockey wise, as far as being ready to take that next step. Played on a lot of great teams at Michigan State there, and had a coach that really pushed me and got me prepared for the next level.
Yeah, I think for me, I thought Abby brought up a great point. The grind is something that you're not exactly used to. I think in college, most games you play are 40, and I think my first game pro, I played over 100. Including playoffs. So that's just something that you can't really prepare for. But you know, for me, I kind of liked it because I enjoy playing games more than practicing. But your body does take a beating in the games, and so you have to get used to that. I think one of the biggest things for me, especially when I got to Detroit, was just the professionalism of all the players. Coming to practice every day. The passing was just so much crisper. In college, you miss a pass, you miss a pass. You make a bad pass, you make a bad pass. But that was what I noticed the most when I got to pro, especially Detroit. Guys made crisp passes all the time, and if I made a bad pass, most guys would find a way to catch it. So that for me were some of the biggest things.
All right, nice. Those, yeah, I mean, it's people think that they know that there is a difference between college and pro, and I think just getting that insight from you guys is an interesting the thing and to hear and kind of be able to envision that. So a lot of the people watching this on LinkedIn or some on Facebook, they're business people, so they're dealing with some things that we can as hockey players can associate into the business world. So in your career, mostly pro, let's go with pro, is you guys have dealt with adversity. You're dealing with that from a day-to-day basis, season to season. How are some of the ways that you deal with adversity?
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean, I think you look at you try to take it game by game, and you can be up and down. You can have some good games as a team, as an individual, and then go on scoring slumps, or your team goes on a losing streak. I think I've learned from one of the best. I think Nick Lidstrom. Just how even keel he was. He never got too high, he never got too low, and he just coming to work each and every day. Bringing a positive attitude. That's something that you can control on a daily basis, and just the work ethic and the professionalism that he brought. And I think it really trickled down to the rest of the players, especially the young players like myself and a handful of others. But just that leadership and that professionalism, and everyone's going to have bad days, but to bring your work ethic and bring that positive attitude each and every day was something that really hit home for me, because you can kind of get stuck in either a rut if you're going through a tough time or losing streak, and sometimes you feel like you're on the highest high when you're winning and you're playing well, and just knowing that you got to stay as even keel as possible, because it's a long year, and we all have the highs and the lows, but just trying to take it out from a day by day basis.
For me, I never got to play with Nick, but I think some of the lessons that he passed on, like Abby said, to the veterans, whether it's Edberg or Cronwall, Abby, Millsy, when you were there, I think just things aren't always going to be perfect, but you got to just keep pushing. I think that was some of the stuff that stuck with me over the years. Obviously, since Millsy left, we haven't made the playoffs, so. We've had some tough years here in the past, but just trying to continue to push, especially when the fans and the media are bashing you a bit, it gets tough. You start doubting yourselves, you start doubting your team, but you can't do that. That's not a way to get out of the situation. So I think you got to use it as fuel for your fire, and continue to battle through that. I think that's the best I can do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's great. I appreciate you guys talking about that. Last question will be, people, they watch the games on TV or they're at the rink and they see you playing your game. But a lot of the times there's so much that is behind the scenes and going on in preparation. So just talk about a summer training routine, a season routine, and also a day game preparation and what goes into a game prep. You don't have to go into it too crazy detail, but just kind of give them a view of what you're doing in the summer, what goes on in the season, and then on a game day.
Yeah, I think summers are important time for one, right after the season finishes, for guys to get their bodies right. Whether guys are having surgery or have some nicks and bruises, those type of things, usually take some time to get those right, and then from there, kind of jumping into your off-season training. And everyone does things a little differently, but usually guys are working out 4, 5, 6 days a week, whatever it is. I think you're starting to see more guys spend more time on the ice, during the off season. And so that's kind of the summer routine. Then the day to day, I think guys usually show up to the rink 2-ish hours before practice. Get to the rink. Usually we'll have food there, breakfast there. Then from there, just kind of get your workout in, your warm up. Everyone, like I said, everyone kind of has their own routine there too, so they do things differently. But just kind of get your work in and get your warm up in to prepare for practice. And then practices usually last anywhere from 20-25 minutes to, hour plus, depending on what's going on that day. But then after practice, guys get some treatment if they need treatment for any type of injuries, back in the weight room to maybe roll out or stretch, or if they didn't get that workout in pre-practice, they'll usually do some kind of workout post-practice. And then game days, guys will have the pregame skate in the morning. So, guys will get down again around 2-ish hours before the 10:30 skate at home, and then 11:30 skate on the road. So kind of the same thing. You'll eat in the morning, and then you're not going to be doing a lift, but more just mobility and stretching and warming up and those type of things. We'll have meetings, usually quick meetings in the morning covering our specialty teams. And then, during at night, we'll cover more of, the opposing team and what we'll be facing. So we'll skate for, a lot of times they've been optional more lately, but we'll skate for 15-20 minutes, get off the ice. Guys will go back for either eat at the rink or go back home for lunch, take a, hour to 2-hour nap, and then get back down to the rink by 5 or 5:30 at the latest for a 7:30 game to get their preparation in. Kind of the same thing for morning skates. Get your mobility, your stretching, and everyone will have a different kind of routine. I know, Millsy, you and I had fun doing our quick feet ladder.
Oh yeah,
that was part of our routine. But I think just for guys, just to kind of get mentally, they like to have their set routine each game day. That's the same, so they can get mentally prepared for the game.
I guess that was kind of an overview. So I'll try my best to give you something different. But for me, like in the summer, I'm a morning guy, so I like to get up early. I go to the gym. Then usually in the middle of the summer, I'll start skating again. So I'll go right from the gym to the rink, skate, head home, eat, hang out for a while. Then big yoga guy, so I'll usually do yoga in the evening, and then early to bed, and back at it the next morning. And then on the weekends, maybe do something slower pace on Saturday, and then take Sunday off. And then during the season, game days, we go down to the rink in the morning, eat, hang out, skate. Guys do a bunch of different stuff. I like to go home and take a nice nap, take my dog on a walk, get some fresh air, and then I'm one of the first ones back to the rink in the afternoon for games. I like to get there probably more like 3 hours before the game, get my stuff done, whether it's taping my stick, new laces, getting treatment, stretching out. For me, it's just a time to settle down, get my mind right before the game, and then play 2-touch soccer with the guys, and then we got our meetings, and then it's kind of go time.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's for me, the one thing I miss is being around you guys and hear you guys talk about the routines. Is my routine is very different now, but I definitely can remember the quick feet ladders with Abby and playing a little two touch and hanging out and yeah, so good times there, guys. So I appreciate you guys coming on, giving the viewers some insight into a little bit about your college, some of the pro stuff, and how you guys deal with adversity. Viewers, make sure you're checking out the small business interviews next Thursday. I got Drew Franklin from Prudential Alarms coming on. He's going to talk about residential and commercial alarm programs that they have. So check that out. And guys, thanks again. Viewers, thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys next time.